preparing my remarks for tonight, the thought crossed my mind several times that this could be a rather overwhelming experience, and as it turns out, I was right. But anyway, hi everyone. I would like to begin my comments by saying that when Chris and Tony and Kent Evie approached me in my office several weeks ago and gave me the news, I was very surprised and honestly at a loss for words. I must say it's very humbling, honestly, to be considered for this honor, and one that I appreciate very much. I also want to offer my congratulations to the other inductees tonight, Heather, Richard, Natali, and Tyler, each one very deserving of the honor. And I also want to express my gratitude to the Hall of Fame Committee for even considering me for inclusion into the Hall of Fame. And I want to thank members of my family tonight for being here. I know it wasn't necessarily easy for some to make the trip up from Indianapolis, and for others to adjust their schedules so that they and their boys, Caden, Kyler, and Xavier, could be here tonight. So thank you very much. And I intend to keep my remarks rather short, but no pun intended. But there are a few things that came to mind I really want to be sure I share with you. To begin with, when I was approached back in the summer of 2001 to be the tennis coach here at Bethel, again, I was overwhelmed, but very excited. That very first year was certainly a learning experience for me. I mean, I knew tennis, but I didn't know coaching. But with the help from above, I got through it. And besides, as many of you know who Jamal Henry is, he's our current tennis coach. He reminds me often, Coach, that first year we actually ran the team. So just relax. We got your back. So there's some truth to that, I'm sure. Over the next 17 seasons from 2002 until the spring of 2019, I was blessed with so many positive experiences and was able to build so many strong relationships with the many student athletes under my charge. Looking back, I'm grateful for having had the opportunity to assist them in developing their tennis skills, but more importantly, to grow as men and women. Many times I had the opportunity to open my door to my office and listen to an athlete share a problem with me. And most of the time, all I had to do was listen. All they wanted was someone to listen and someone to care. And so lots of times they say, "Oh, thanks, Coach." And I said, "Sure, really didn't do anything, just listen and offer a word or two of advice if it was appropriate." So I thank God for putting me in a place where I could serve in that capacity. And of course, I owe so much to the coaches I worked with over the years. People like Jonathan Sabo, Ryan Beagle, Christian Lehman, Dario Garza, Jason Gingrich, Joel Dendu, and Brad Foster. They all made my job much easier and a lot of fun. As all coaches know, there's so much that goes into navigating a season. You've got your practices, your road trips, the competitions, the recruiting, and of course helping the athletes deal in a Christ-like manner with the ups and downs of winning and losing, and often playing through injuries and adversity. The daily grind of practices, the weekly team devotions, always trying to emphasize with the athletes the fact that we were to appreciate and never take for granted the gifts that God had given us to play the game that they love, and to play with great effort and a great attitude, and to always play for the glory of God and not ourselves. It's always rewarding when an athlete calls, texts, or emails me to catch up on life and to just kind of relive some of those days. For me, the 2005-2006 season was particularly rewarding as our men's team won the Mid Central Conference, it was called back then, the tournament in Indianapolis. That was a very difficult thing to do in such a competitive conference, and it was truly a total team effort as each member of that team contributed in some way to the championship. And in that same year, our women's team also achieved a lot by posting a record of 18 wins and 5 losses, including a conference runner-up win, a conference runner-up finish in the fall, and in the spring of 2006, winning the NCCAA National Championship in South Carolina by defeating an outstanding team from Dallas Baptist University, who's now a D1 school, not once, but twice. We had to beat them once in pool play and then once in the championship match. Finally, in my last season, 2018-19, our ladies achieved a 14-6 record, an undefeated spring record of 6-0, and they were the NCCAA North Central Region champions. But the heart and soul of the program has always been and continues to be the student athletes themselves. Far too many to mention my name here tonight, but some names you may recall, like Eric Bowers, PJ Perry, Ryan Yoder, Jared Schreiner, Joel Dendu, Josh Grubbs, Kiko Cortez, and Jacob McCree. And names like Sarah Mader, Wendy Yoder, Robin Braun, Bree Oles, Emily Lamport, Carrie Edison, Molly O'Grady, Bethany Blodgett, Caroline Boger, and Taylor Friedline. They, along with a multitude of others that contributed so much to the program, were the leaders who did it the right way. The hard work and determination to represent Bethel and Christ in a first-class manner. In closing, I just want to thank God for steering my life in the direction of Bethel many years ago. And thanks to Bethel, and especially those in our incredible athletic department, Tony, Chris, and the entire staff for allowing me to be a small part of Bethel athletics. Whether I'm doing the scorebook, a men's or women's game, or assisting in some capacity with game management, or doing compliance, I'm grateful for having had the opportunity to hopefully impact the lives of our student athletes still today by offering my support and encouragement to them on a daily basis. So thank you all.